In today's video, I want to highlight what Capcom is potentially prepping up for the PlayStation 5. We know that they had incredible success with game releases like Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry 5 last year with Monster Hunter World and Mega Man 11. But now, speaking in a QA session with investors during their latest quarterly financial call, they spoke a little bit on their plans for next generation and the engine that they're using to run next generation titles. I want to speculate onto what games they could be working on and give you the rundown on that, because Capcom has become one of the most compelling publishers in all of gaming. Outside of that, there's also some free Apex Legends content that you can get right now with a PlayStation Plus subscription. I'll highlight that. It's free stuff. You guys like free stuff. So I'll give a mention to that, and I also want to let you guys know about some avatars and some themes we mentioned a while ago. But I think that got a little bit lost in the shuffle, so I'll give you guys a heads up on that as well. For you guys that dig arcade racers and kart racers, Team Sonic Racing's reviews just dropped, and it's a little bit mixed. I would say mostly positive, so we'll look at that. That game I'm really excited for, on the fact that it is a budget release, and it is going to be a palatable pickup to many. Metro Exodus was one of the better games of 2019 thus far, and we now have details on the expansion pass, and 2 expansions coming with that. One of them in summer of this year, and one of them is a ways out in early 2020. We'll give you guys the heads up on that at the end of this video. But first up, let's talk all things Capcom, because as I mentioned, they've become one of the best publishers in all of gaming. They've just put out hit after hit after hit, and for a while Capcom was in a really muddied place. I didn't know that they had potential to get back to this level. But after the release of Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry 5, and Phoenix Wright Trilogy this year alone, man, things are looking really up for Capcom. But now begs the question, what do they have on the horizon? What are they working on in the future? Because now they've put out all of those major titles that they've been working on, and there's a lot of uncertainty onto what could be coming in the future. Well, speaking on Resident Evil 2 and Devil May Cry 5, you might know that they both run on the same engine, the RE engine, and those games are both technically brilliant, and Capcom spoke a little bit about that. Quote, "The games we developed using the RE engine during this current hardware generation have received a critical acclaim, and from the early stages of building this engine, we kept the ability to augment it for next generation development in mind. As such, we view the RE engine as one of our strengths and that will contribute to next generation game creation." So it looks like Capcom is already setting the table for the games that they're working on for the PlayStation 5, and they continued by saying, "While we are unable to comment on the specific number of titles or release windows, there are numerous titles currently being developed internally with the RE engine." So you have to think a game being developed with the RE engine has to be a bigger budget title, so they've got numerous games with this engine in development. I have some speculation on what some of those games could be. I think a Resident Evil 3 remake is in development. I don't know if that's being developed in-house by Capcom or if they've outsourced it to a different studio, but I would have to think that that's in development given the success of Resident Evil 2. An RE3 remake would be something that does very well. I think they're also working on Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 7 released all the way back in 2017. It's about time we see a new iteration of Resident Evil. A Resident Evil 8 on the PlayStation 5 would be tremendous. And we also know that Hideaki Itsuno, the director of Devil May Cry 5, he's probably moving away from Devil May Cry for a little bit and working on a brand new project. We know he's already working on a new game. We don't know what that is, but he did hint the fact that maybe they do a Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma was one of the best games of last generation, released really late in the PlayStation 3's life cycle, but it was a great game. Remastered on the PS4 as well. It's been released on just about every platform, last generation platforms, PC, Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and most gamers seem to know about it at this point. But outside of that, I'd love to see another big budget Mega Man game. Yes, we got Mega Man 11, but man, I would love to see a Mega Man game with modernized visuals that looks really good. You can even reinvent the wheel a little bit if you want to go back and do a Mega Man Battle Network on next generation consoles with incredible visuals. Capcom just has such an incredible library of IPs that they can really dig up any game, and if they want to create a compelling product, I really have faith in them into creating something incredibly compelling. So we'll see. Hopefully we see some new announcements from Capcom coming out of E3. Last year, they announced Devil May Cry 5 at the Microsoft conference. I know some of you guys maybe associate a Japanese publisher like Capcom with Sony, and maybe you're thinking they're going to be absent, but no, Microsoft has been getting into the Japanese game a little bit, and I could very well see Capcom being at the Microsoft conference once again. Alright, moving on from that, as you guys see in the title, there's some free stuff available, and right now, PlayStation Plus subscribers can get the Apex Legends PS4 pack, and that adds a new skin and banner for Lifeline and Mirage, while the EVA 8 and R99 get a fresh weapon skin. It's free, so if you're a Plus subscriber, go ahead and grab it. I should also note, we mentioned this in an earlier video, but maybe some of you guys missed it. Red Dead Redemption 2, a bunch of avatars for that are available free right now in the PlayStation Store. I believe it's 27 avatars, so snag those up. And recently released Figment Figment, which is an awesome game. Great presentation on that title. That also has a dynamic theme available for free right now. Go snag that. That dynamic theme is exclusive to Plus subscribers as well, but that game is heavy on its presentation, so that game getting a dynamic theme is pretty awesome. That's available for free with a Plus subscription. Apex Legends content available for free, and the Red Dead Avatars, I believe, is free for everyone. A lot of free stuff on the PlayStation Store right now. Snag it all up. You have no reason really not to. Moving on from that, Team Sonic Racing is dropping next week on May 21st, and the early reviews are coming in, and it's looking a little bit mixed. A 73 Metacritic score, which definitely isn't bad, but again, I've mentioned this in the past that a lot of times these days gamers are hearkening to, you know, high 80s, low 90s to being the only games that they're willing to pick up, but nonetheless, a mid-70s score definitely isn't bad. DualShockers gave the game an 8 out of 10, saying Team Sonic Racing is one of Sonic's best spin-off games to date. Even with the handful of problems I had with the game, I found I was easily able to overlook them because of the pure fun I was having. Team Sonic Racing is definitely worth checking out if you're looking for your next kart racing cruise. So again, an 8 out of 10 from DualShockers. Destructoid gave the game a 7 out of 10, saying plenty of folks will enjoy the Sonic focus and many of the tracks would have been fantastic as Transform DLC. I just wish it wasn't as limited in scope out of the gate. I imagine some of the limitation also harkens to the $40 price point, so that was probably a strategic decision, so you have to keep that in mind. IGN Italy gave the game a 7.9, saying Team Sonic Racing is a game full of content, enjoyable to play, and with a very well-structured co-op mode. Nevertheless, the title suffers on the medium-long duration with the design of the tracks and not always delighted, and the readability of the action sometimes compromised by some aesthetic choices. Team Sonic Racing, therefore, while giving peaks of unquestionable fun, is devoid of that leap, that spark of play that can make the difference. Again, a 7.9, a pretty positive score. Currently sitting at a 73. Do expect that Metacritic score to fluctuate a little bit, but right now, if you're a fan of kart racers, if you like the Sonic IP, Team Sonic Racing is probably going to be a game worth checking out, and again, at the budget price point of $39.99, definitely makes it a much more palatable pickup opposed to it being $59.99. Alright, lastly, Metro Exodus was one of the better games of this year. Some people do think it's the weakest of the Metro franchise. I'm not gonna get into that debate right now. However, there is more content coming to Metro Exodus with the expansion pass. The expansion pass can be bought right now for $24.99. Now, the 2 expansions have been detailed. I'm not gonna go in deep on what the expansions are gonna come with because there are spoilers, and I imagine a lot of you guys have yet to play Metro Exodus. Maybe you're waiting on a sale. But Deep Silver did note there will be 2 major pieces of story-driven DLC for the game following brand new stories from the world of Metro. Instead of RTM, players will see through the eyes of a brand new character and one of the Spartan Rangers, the Aurora's only American, Sam. Both of these will be available as a part of the expansion pass and will also be available for purchase separately. We'll leave a link down below where they go more in depth on the story and exactly what you can expect out of the expansion pass, but expansion 1 will be dropping summer 2019 and expansion 2 won't be coming all the way until early 2020, so that is a little bit of a bummer. Right now, Metro Exodus you could readily find for around that $40 price point. If it does go on sale for around $30, I think it would be a great buy because this is a game with not a ton of longevity attached to it. You're probably just gonna play it once and then be done with it, but it is a fun time while you're playing it. I do want to note that given expansion 2 is coming in early 2020, this would be a great game to do a complete version on the PlayStation 5, soup up the visuals a little bit, maybe as a launch title for the PlayStation 5, I don't know, just throwing out my 2 cents because Metro Exodus is a game that's technically incredible on PC, but of course on the PlayStation 4 it did have to be limited a little bit, so just my 2 cents, Deep Silver. If you want to take that, Deep Silver and 4A Games, if you want to take my advice, I think it would do pretty well as a launch title, especially if you price it accordingly, and with the expansion I don't think that would be a gigantic investment, but nonetheless, that's just my 2 cents, and that's gonna conclude this video. Again, it looks like Capcom's got several next generation titles in development using the RE engine, so that's pretty exciting. Hopefully we get some new Resident Evils, hopefully we get Dragon's Dogma 2, a new Mega Man Battle Network or something like that would be awesome. But that is a little bit of a stretch. Right now on the PlayStation Store, you can get Apex Legends content for free with a Plus subscription. And do note that a Figment dynamic theme as well as a lot of Red Dead avatars are available for free as well. Team Sonic Racing reviews are coming up, 73 on Metacritic right now. And Metro Exodus is getting some new content in summer of 2019 as well as early 2020. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.